Hi, welcome back to the Horizon Art Room. I'm Mr. Schwanebeck. Last week, you created your tiny sculpture out of clay. If you're an in-person student, our clay needs to dry so that we can fire it and then paint it the following week. So this week, we're going to do a one-shot project, just a short one, just for today. We talked about scale last week and how artists play with the size of things in order to get attention or change the way that we react to it. Today, we're going to work in the opposite direction. We're going to create an artwork of an object much larger than we would normally see it. Many artists create artwork about ordinary objects. This art is called mundane art. Mundane means dull, boring, ordinary. So I chose an ordinary object for my drawing for today. I'm going to use the humble crayon. The first thing you'll need to do is use your iPad to take a close-up picture of the object that you chose. I'll demonstrate how to take a really close or macro photo with your iPad.
So I've switched to the camera of my iPad. You're looking through my iPad right now. I want to make sure that I have plenty of light. I might do this in a room that has good bright lights, or I might do this next to a nice bright window in the middle of the daytime, because light will help your camera focus better. I'm also placing this on a white background. The white background also adds a little bit more light to the scene, and it's going to make it easier for me to focus just on the crayon later when I'm drawing. Because I'm zoomed in so close, the camera gets a little bit shaky and it's hard for the camera to focus on the crayon. Plus, it's going to make it hard to get a good picture. So there are a couple things you can do. I rested the iPad on my lap. I also rested it against the table, and those two things helped to steady my camera. If I use my finger and touch the screen on the crayon, it will focus on the crayon. But if I hold my finger there, I get a box on the crayon, and a little yellow box above at the top of the screen says AF lock. That's autofocus lock. Now the camera is locked onto that spot so that I can take my picture. If you'd like, you can zoom into that photo that you took. You can crop it so that it fills the page a little bit more, or so you can see the details a little bit better. Then make a drawing of the details that you can now see better because the picture is so big. You're going to enlarge that object on your page. How big can you make it? I was able to draw this crayon pretty big on a normal size piece of paper. But imagine how I'd be able to supersize it on an even larger piece of paper. How big of a paper will you have available? How big can you go? We'll only be working on this in class today, but if you have time, you might consider adding color. What materials do you have available? Crayon, colored pencil, paint could all look good. This could even be a great opportunity to get in some more practice with light logic. Remember at the beginning of the year when we practiced drawing with light and shadow? You could do it with color here if you had time. Next week, I'm going to teach you some techniques for painting miniatures. When you're finished with this drawing, be sure to share it with your teacher because we can't wait to see what you create.